Activision Blizzard is getting sued, and I want to make this very clear. This is not a twit longer. This is not a disgruntled e-girl. This is the state of California has done a 2-year investigation on Activision Blizzard, and now they're suing them. This is no bullshit. This isn't some, oh, well, it's he said, she said. No, man. I understand everybody deserves their day in court. Everybody should have the presumption of innocence. But I'm not a court. If I had to guess, I'd say they're fucking guilty. However, they do deserve their day in court. They deserve their chance. They deserve their opportunity. And they deserve their right to defend themselves, even though I think it happened. It's been confirmed by, fucking a dozen employees, man. Video game giant Activision Blizzard, maker of games including World of Warcraft and Diablo, fosters a frat boy culture in which female employees are subjected to constant sexual harassment, unequal pay, and retaliation, according to a lawsuit filed by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. So, I find myself quite vindicated, because after a year and year of being told that things like go big dick is misogynistic or bad, or they don't want to deal with me because of these things, I feel pretty fucking vindicated whenever I see this. The hypocrisy, it's more than that. It's the sanctimoniousness of it. Hypocrisy, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with hypocrisy. But if you're sanctimonious about it, you can eat shit. That's what I'm fucking done with, man. I hate that shit so much. Anyway, let's go back over here. 2-year investigation by the state agency found that the company discriminated against female employees in terms and conditions of employment, including compensation, assignment, promotion, and termination. Company leadership consistently failed to take steps to prevent discrimination, harassment, and retaliation, the agency said. According to the complaint filed Tuesday, female employees make up around 20% of the Activision workforce and are subjected to pervasive frat boy workplace culture, including cube crawls, in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Drinking copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office is not that bad. I don't care about this. This could be a fun place to work. This is not. This is where I draw the line. One of these things is bad, and the other thing, sends you to jail. Okay? You know me. This is, you have to keep this in mind. Whenever I'm making this statement, keep in mind that I do not drink. I never drink. I don't want to drink. And I don't like it. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't do anything like that. Okay? This is not me defending it because it's something that I like to do or anything like that. I just think that one of them is yes, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But being ridiculous and immature and bad is much, much fucking different. And I want to make this very clear. There is a huge difference between doing that and harassing the female employees. That's where this part right here, inappropriate behavior towards female employees, this part is where it's over the fucking line, okay? It's a combination of both is even worse. Exactly. And here's the reality, is if drinking copious amounts of alcohol results in inappropriate behavior towards female employees, 2 things should happen. Number 1, the people that are doing that should be fucking fired. And number 2, maybe you shouldn't be drinking copious amounts of alcohol. The agency alleges that male employees play video games during the workday while delegating responsibilities to female employees, engage in sexual banter, and joke openly about rape, among other things. So, they're making the girls do all of the work while they talk about rape and harassing them. Now, I just want to ask a very, very simple question here. Do you think this makes World of Warcraft a better game? Very simple question. Because in my opinion, I will give you a very, very personal anecdote that I think many of you all have experienced. Have you ever been to a party And have you ever had somebody that made everybody else at that party uncomfortable by the way they acted? Let's say maybe they talk too loud whenever they're drunk, and it completely kills the vibe of a party or a get-together or anything like that. Let's say it's a drunk uncle. Let's say it's something like that. What do you think happens whenever those people are your boss? What do you think happens to productivity whenever those people are in charge of you? What do you think happens to the product when those people are in charge of you? I'll tell you what happens. Shadowlands happens to the product. These other terrible things happen to the product. The product suffers. You suffer whenever these dipshits can't keep their hands to themselves and can't stop fucking with female employees because they're creepy fucking weirdos. You are the loser here. Your product is being decreased in quality because these people are creating an environment where they are afraid and getting PTSD from going to work. You are the loser here. You lose whenever this happens. So I think this is something that affects every single one of us. It's very simple. If you read all of these things that are being said, do you think this helped or hurt the production of our games that we know and love? I think it's a very, very clear case of it hurt it. Ironic that you were called an asshole when it was them all along. I think that specific event could be probably different. However, I do think as a general rule, yes, I am very vindicated. As I said before, I am extremely vindicated at the fact that Blizzard, who has spent years vilifying me and alienating me in many ways, is now facing a lawsuit over the very things that they accused me of. Yes, I find it very vindicating. Nobody's perfect. No, I'm not perfect. But I'm pretty sure this is a pretty far away from perfect. Female employees allege being held back from promotions because of the possibility that they may become pregnant, being criticized for leaving to pick up their children from daycare, and being kicked out of lactation rooms so male colleagues could use the rooms for meetings, the complaint says. Female employees working for the World of Warcraft team noted that male employees and supervisors would hit on them, making derogatory comments about rape and otherwise engage in demeaning behavior, the agency alleges. I don't understand, like, the rape stuff is like, holy fuck, man. Like, that's like the worst thing. That's like the worst fucking thing, man. That's the worst fucking thing. It's not like a awkward joke or whatever, man. This is fucking bad. The suit also points to a female Activision employee who took her own life while on a company trip with her male supervisor. The employee had been subjected to intense sexual harassment prior to her death, including having her nude photos passed around at a company holiday party. Like, I was originally like, whenever I read this, I was like, well, is it necessarily, like, correlation does not necessarily mean causation? But whenever I went back and I read a little bit more about it, apparently, and I think that, like, I think somebody linked this on my Reddit. Is this it here? Yeah, in a tragic example, this is the real, like, so obviously the Bloomberg Law article is not going to be as graphic as the actual court documents, but I'm going to read this out word for word. In a tragic example of harassment that defendants allowed to fester in their offices, a female employee committed suicide while on a company trip due to a sexual relationship that she had been having with her male supervisor. The male supervisor was found by police to have brought a butt plug and lubricant on this business trip. Another employee confirmed that the deceased female employee may have been suffering from other sexual harassment at work prior to her death. Specifically, at a company party before her death, male co-workers were alleged to be passing around a picture of the deceased vagina. Word for word. Word for fucking word. This is not, I want you guys to understand this. This is not awkward flirting that was interpreted in the wrong way. This was not Carson talking to a 17-year-old whenever he's 19. This is disgusting. This is actually fucking bad. It's vile. It's awful. This is police report. Yeah, this is a completely different fucking level. And the reason why I continuously repeat that is because I know there are people out there. There's some guys out there. A lot of you guys out there are worried about the idea of having false accusations. I think that's, to a certain degree, it's reasonable to worry about that. But let me give you a little bit of advice. Treat women like people. And it probably won't happen. I never worry about that. There's never a point where I go and I think to myself, oh my God, I really hope I don't want to be alone and interact with this female because, oh my God, what if she makes a twit longer about me? Do you know why? Because I'm completely confident in the way that I interact with women. And I do it respectfully and with a certain degree of reservation because I respect their personal space. These people are not on your side. Trying to play devil's advocate for this is devil's advocate on a twit longer is one thing, but devil's advocate on a 2-year state investigation is something else. So just try to keep that in mind. These people are not on your side. These people going down, these people going to jail, these people being fired, these people being excommunicated from the gaming and hopefully the professional space at large, this is not a loss for you. They do it to your fucking mother. Keep that in mind. We value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. There is no place in our company or industry, or any industry, for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind. A spokesperson for Activision Blizzard said in a statement, "We take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. In cases related to misconduct, action was taken to address the issue." Look at this. This is Blizzard's approach to different people that they can throw into fucking garbage the second that anything comes up. Swifty gets accused of sexual misconduct that does not result in somebody killing themselves or anything even remotely close, even in the accusation that was for all intents and purposes considered untrue by most people. Blizzard immediately excommunicates him without even investigating it. Shoot first, never ask questions. This guy right here, I'm assuming, is the voice actor of Kael Thas. The voice actor of Kael Thas was accused of a number of things and was immediately fired and had his voice lines immediately removed from the entire game, including in Burning Crusade. It was never proven, and it was in fact disproven. His voice lines are still not in the game. But now, whenever they're accusing Blizzard, oh, wait a minute. Oh, whoa. Wait a minute. Oh, this is different. Oh, no, it couldn't be us. It couldn't be, hold up, wait a minute, what is this? The reality is, like, this ruined his life. Like, he's gonna have, you understand, like, getting fired and having the fucking news article come out that you got fired for sexual assault allegations, even if they're untrue, is extremely damaging for your fucking, for your career. It doesn't matter what happens after that. Yeah, here it is. I'm removing my Blizzard credits from my bio. I boycotted Blizzard games over a year ago whenever they revealed themselves to be tools for the CCP censorship by banning Blitzchung. The latest news was the last straw for me. Time to look forward. That's fucking sad, man. Because I know how proud he was to have worked on WoW. You know, he was the one. You have to remember, he was the one that took the fucking, the wheelbarrow of papers with all of our names on it directly to Mike Morhaime himself and told Mike Morhaime, we want classic WoW. He was our standard bearer for that, and he's the one doing this. I witnessed all of this happen to many more of my female employees when I was at Blizzard. Numerous cases of discrimination and harassment were swept under the rug. We were told that we're problematic people, we're too senior to do anything about. Some things never change. I've always tried to shoulder an ally where I could, and I know that there's still great people who work at the company who are fighting hard for change. I wish all of them the best working through what's likely to be a tough time. Blizzard seems to be in the middle of a reckoning. One of their core mottos is learn and grow, and I think it's about time they start taking that seriously. This guy right here, Brett Forbes, he was Bashiok, I believe. He was one of the old community managers. He even had a special toy added into the game in Warlords of Draenor for him. And he was always very polite to me. I think I interacted with him like twice, and I've had nothing but good interactions with him. Now he's working at Riot, which I was assume is probably with their new MMO with Greg Street. Gonna talk about Blizzard because this nightmare isn't US only. So here's the thing about things that I saw on the EU side and some things that were shared with me. For context, I worked there for about a year in 2006, 2007, propositioning, harassing employees, and did so on several occasions, not just at events. I was first along, watched him get so wasted at one Christmas party in Paris that he couldn't make his end of the night speech. What the fuck? Third, I know of someone who was assaulted by a different fuckwit on a work trip to California. When she tried to report it to the EU, the issue was deemed complicated. Instead, HR informed the attacker of the report, to which he replied, "I only go for thin women." Finally, death threats aimed at employees were, to my knowledge, not taken seriously, at the least. In one case, the report led to legal asking the person if they were sure it wasn't from a pissed off ex or someone that you flirted with. This right here is really bothersome to me. And the reason why this one and the death threats is so bothersome to me is because the fact that the Blizzard will not take this seriously, how much do you want to fucking bet that this probably has something to do with the reason why devs don't communicate with us? Do you understand how this complete lack of fucking accountability and lack of professionalism has led to the negative effects of our game? This has been something that has affected us personally on an indirect level. It's like a domino effect. It's like one domino is, people getting death threats. And then the next domino is legal not taking it seriously. And then the next domino is the game not going well because people are being sexually harassed and stressed out at work. And then the next domino after that is devs don't want to speak about it publicly because whenever they do, they get death threats. And then the domino after that is then whenever they report the death threats to legal, they get blamed for them. So guess what happens? Here's the final fucking domino, is we get to talk to fucking nobody. So this is the Alex FFXIV thing. We're gonna read this one here now, okay? In a blatant example of defendant's refusal to deal with the harasser because of his seniority and position, Alex FFXIV, the former senior creative director of World of Warcraft at Blizzard Entertainment, was permitted to engage in blatant sexual harassment with little to no repercussions. During a company event, an annual convention called BlizzCon, FFXIV would hit on female employees, telling him he wanted to marry them, attempting to kiss them, and putting his arms around them. This was in plain view of other male employees, including supervisors, who had to intervene and pull him off female employees. FFXIV is so well known to engage in harassment of females that his suite was nicknamed the Crosby Suite after alleged rapist Bill Crosby. FFXIV would also call females derogatory names at company events. FFXIV's conduct was known to Blizzard Entertainment's executives, who took no effective remedial measures. J. Allen Brack, president of Blizzard Entertainment, allegedly had multiple conversations with FFXIV about his drinking and that he had been too friendly towards female employees, but gave FFXIV a slap on the wrist, verbal counseling in response to these incidents. Subsequently, FFXIV continued to make unwanted advances towards female employees, including grabbing a female employee's hand and inviting her to his hotel room and groping another woman. It's just... oh, man. This is why you don't drink excessively, guys. Like, obviously, the guy's a piece of shit, but, like, if you're a little bit of a piece of shit, getting drunk like this, like, this is what happens, man. Yeah, obviously he's a fucking creep, but it's like the drinking element of it, it's like having world buffs, okay? If we want to use classic WoW, it's like he just gave himself the fucking rallying cry of the Dragon Slayer. I left Blizzard after my boss gaslit me so bad that my hair started falling out. My profit sharing, which I relied on to make ends meet, was docked due to underperforming. And when I went to HR to fight it with proof against his claims, I was told, maybe you are underperforming. The fucked up part? I hated leaving. But Blizzard was my dream job, and I loved to work there, and the people that I worked with, to the point to almost returning. But the amount of people who still remain in management positions, even after multiple accusations, have kept me away. Years later, during a studio visit with some friends, I saw him and we made eye contact. I spent the next 10 minutes locked in the bathroom crying. I love Blizzard, I truly did, but they employ predators in every sense. To anyone else who's ever been unfairly treated, to made feel lesser in the workplace because of their gender, age, race, or sexuality, I know how you feel. My DMs are always open. In 2014, my team manager, boss's boss, harassed me daily while pregnant. He would write me up for using the restroom to pee at 8 to 9 months pregnant, claiming that I was outside my allotted breaks for an adherence metric. Every day I'd come to work being told that it might be the day that I got fired. At that time, I was the top stack ranked GM for productivity, number of completed tickets, and top 5 to 10 for customer satisfaction and survey results. I'd waver between being number 1 and number 2 ranked GM they had at the time. I ended up just never drinking at work and landed in the ER due to dehydration. My direct supervisor used to sneak up behind me and grab my sides or shoulders and yell to scare me. I'm very jumpy and would always scream. He'd laugh at me and tell me to chill out whenever I begged them to stop. When I complained to my team manager, he gave me an essay written by some Harvard Business School professor about being too sensitive to criticism. I was made to read it at home, then sit in a room alone with the two men explaining what I had learned in front from it and how I'd stop complaining about the touching going forward. So, like, let's be honest, like, that's crazy, man. That's absolutely fucking crazy. I still can't drive by the Austin building without almost throwing up. If low-level CS management behave this way, I can't imagine what the bigwigs in California act like. Fuck you, Miles. I hope you rot in hell. That's so fucking awful, man. Let me read the Blizzard statement, okay? Let's see. Includes distorted. Oh, okay, this is the California. Includes distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the state of California throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us on what issues they perceived. They were required by law to adequately investigate and to have good faith discussions with us to better understand and resolve any claims or concerns before going to litigation, but failed to do so. This is like, here's what it's like. I'm thinking of a way to put this. It's like if you're at work and you shit on the floor, and your boss comes in and he sees that you just shit on the floor, and he says, "Get the fuck out of the building." And they're like, "Why? What did I do?" "Well, I never got told why I got removed. They never told me. I don't know what happened." Yeah, I've got no idea. Like, what? That wasn't in the rules. Like, the rules say that you have to tell me what I'm supposed to do wrong. It's fucking crazy, man. Instead, they rush to file an inaccurate complaint, as we will demonstrate in court. We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the Department of the California to drag the complaint of tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case, and with no regard to her grieving family. So they're going for the emotional point. They're saying, how could you possibly bring her family into this? I wonder what her family wants more. I wonder if her family wants to have justice for the people that caused their daughter or their mother or sister to kill herself, or they want it to be swept under the rug. Yes, how absolutely reprehensible to not sweep this under the rug when she's getting her nudes passed around. When she's getting invited to these company fucking parties and her boss or other employees are bringing butt plugs and lube. And then other people on top of that are also sexually harassing her. Oh, I don't know. Oh, that wasn't all. That wasn't the whole reason. Oh, yeah, it was 80% of it. It's just crazy, man. Like, and it's a holiday party, right? It's not even like, oh yeah, it's a private party. No, it's like fucking Merry Christmas. Look at this naked fucking employee. It's Christmas, probably. Thanksgiving. While we find this behavior to be disgraceful and unprofessional. Well, they are the experts. It is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves throughout the course of this investigation. It is this type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California. That's not true. They're not unaccountable because we can vote them out. Just like 30% of your fucking user base has voted you out in the last year. Talk about unaccountability. How about these executives that are nameless that just get slaps on the wrist for abusing employees, and then the employees get bullied into not talking about it? That's really unaccountable. The picture DFEH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today. Over the past several years and continuing since the initial investigation started, we've made significant changes to address company culture and reflect more diversity within our leadership teams. Why would the diversity matter? Like, that's not the problem. It doesn't matter what color a person is whenever they make somebody lose their hair because they're not meeting arbitrary production goals. They're deflecting by talking about something that's not the problem. We've updated our code of conduct. You don't even hold the players, you don't even hold players accountable for code of conduct. There's people that have been fucking account sharing for years. You can't even you don't even have to go get the bots. Look at the bots in WoW. And you want me to take your code of conduct seriously for your employees? You can't even deal with bots. We've updated our code of conduct to emphasize a strict non-retaliation focus, amplified internal programs, and channels for employees to report violations, including the Ask List with a confidential integrity hotline introduced as an employee relations team dedicated to investigating employee concerns. We have strengthened our commitment to diversity, equality, and inclusion, combined with our employee networks on a global level to provide additional support. Employees must also go regular anti-harassment training and have done so for many years. See, they're using these words like the diversity inclusion thing, right? Like, obviously it's important to include people. Obviously it's important to have like people that are diverse, right? Yeah, that's nice. But this is, they're misdirecting here. This is a huge misdirection because the real fucking issue is that it doesn't, like, these are actions. Like, these are actions that are happening. Yeah, they're using buzzwords to try to get out of the accountability for it. We put tremendous effort in creating fair and rewarding compensation packages and policies that reflect our culture and business, and we strive to pay all employees fairly for equal and substantially similar work. Like, I don't even know why you write that. Like, why do you even write that? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Like, because everybody, like, look at this. So this is the compensation package. I want to read this real quick. Fair and rewarding compensation packages. I'd like to say very nice work on your efforts on providing super high quality to our players. Also, you guys have really stepped up and being flexible with your schedules, putting in some extra time and submitting solid feedback while working on a project. 100 honor points have been deposited into your account. To redeem your honor points, visit the program website. It has to be fake. It's not fake. This image was received by me, and I was the person that made it public, and the person that I got it from is an employee from Blizzard that I personally verified. Fair and rewarding compensation packages. That's where we're at. They don't even get conquest points. They only get honor points. They don't even give them the good points in game. It's embarrassing. We take a variety of proactive steps to ensure that pay is driven by non-discriminatory factors. For example, we reward and compensate employees based on their performance. We conduct extensive anti-discrimination trainings, including those for those who are part of the compensation process. What does that mean? Part of the compensation process. Do you mean everybody who works there for a salary? Do you mean people that receive compensation in other ways with profit sharing? What does that mean? Oh, that's right. It doesn't mean anything. Giving people training is nice. Nobody is denying whether you're giving people training or not. This has never had anything to do with training. You don't need to tell somebody that fucking spreading their nudes at a company a company fucking holiday party is bad. You don't need to do that. You don't need a training exercise for this. They know it's bad. Well, you never told me to I wasn't supposed to shit on the floor. That wasn't an orientation. Nobody said I couldn't shit on the floor. We are confident in our ability to demonstrate our practices as an equal opportunity employer that fosters a supportive, diverse, and inclusive workplace for our people. And we are committed to continuing this effort for years to come. It's a shame that the DFEH did not want to engage with us on what they thought they were seeing in their investigation. How is it that every single employee knows this, but not the leadership? How is it that everybody knows what the problem is, except for the people in charge? What a coinkydink. What a cute little coincidence that is. You know what pisses me off about this? Is the fact that they think people are stupid enough to believe it. Insulting my intelligence by feeding me this bullshit, thinking that it's something that I'll believe. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up the WoW post too. Let me see if I can find that. Something of the lawsuit. I know it needs to be done. You know exactly what this is. The best thing about this is like, you're going to click on it, but you know what it's going to say. Every voice matters. No regrets. Hong Kong. Yeah. Blizzard is very good at performative, performative diversity. They're very good at wearing a little sticker that says that they care about women or minorities or gay people or something like that. And then whenever it actually comes down to taking a hit for them, actually taking a chance for them, then they're nowhere to be found. It's virtue signaling. It's literally virtue signaling. I will look at their stock prices. Why not? Woo! Not looking good. And this is only the beginning. I think this is just going to get worse. It's my opinion on it. I think this is just going to get worse because there's a lot of people who they're just they're frustrated. They're caught up. They're tired of it, man. People unsub, realize how boring IRL is and resub quietly. I think there will be some people that will, but there will be a lot of people who doesn't, okay? Like, and that's the thing, is every single time that something like this happens, so basically, like here, it's like this. And so Blizzard's reputation bar used to be, okay? And then you had things like Warlords of Draenor. And now it's like this. And then you had things like the fucking Hong Kong thing. Now it's like this. Then you had things like BFA. Then you had other various, problems that Blizzard has had. Like different types of like little drama, right? Where remember how they fired a bunch of people. And then like they were giving them honor points and stuff like that. And this is just the last straw. But the point that I'm making here is that a lot of these things, you don't really feel the effect of losing, give me a second, of losing this until you get to this. Reputation does matter. Absolutely, it does matter. Especially in something, reputation, see, here's basically, reputation has a certain type of elasticity to it, right? If you know in economics, right? But the more that your product is a creative entertainment product, the more your reputation matters. Here we go. Literally Baltimore. Guess who that is? Fuck it, I'm not done. The problem isn't just employees or management at Blizzard. It's also the toxic element of the community that empower that kind of behavior. The fuckwits who send death threats over Sylvanas, or who briefly bullied Madeline Rowe off of Twitter. Do better. That's the person who made all the negative tweets about white people. As if it in any way is acceptable. It's our fault. Do better? Convenient choice of words. Convenient timing. And that douchebag, whose name people have to censor so his fans don't lynch them. Imagine being so privileged that you think something that literally killed thousands of black people is the same thing as you getting a couple of mean tweets on Twitter. Imagine thinking those are the same fucking things, man. Starts with an A, ends with an oh god, does this ever end? Misogynistic fuckers who are ruining gaming. A pastime I'd quite like my daughter to be able to grow up and enjoy without harassment. Well, don't have her work at Blizzard then. Simple. Here's the facts. Here's the fucking facts here. Is that people act like, yeah, I'm Baltimore, right? I'm the bad guy because I say go big dick and I like having girls in video games that have chainmail bikinis with huge tits. Yeah, that's right. That's not the same thing as harassing people in real life. It's not. And to even draw any sort of comparison or equivalency to that is such a massive disrespect to anybody who's actually endured any real harassment. It's unreal. Do you want the game to fail? No. No, here's what I want to happen. Here's what I want to happen. I want the people who had control over the situation and the outcome of the situation. Like, let's say you're a GM. Let's say you're like a low-level developer and you heard about something about this and you didn't quit the job over it. I don't think that you should have a moral responsibility to quit the job over it, especially whenever it's just hearsay. But if you were one of the people that were at an executive role and you were in the position to make decisions for this company and you let this happen, then I absolutely think that you should be held accountable. And on top of that, I think that the people who actually did these actions should be charged criminally. Because they're breaking the law. That's what happens. Whenever you break the laws, you get charged. That's what happens. Straight to jail? No, they have a trial and then they go to jail. That's how we do things. Job's gonna need a hell of a pen, a t-shirt combo to get out of this one. Yeah, it's like, can you imagine? Like, what is this year's BlizzCon gonna be like? You know what I mean? Like, what exactly is, like, what he comes on there and he's like, they canceled it, dude? Oh, did they already cancel BlizzCon again? I don't know if they did or not. Yeah, maybe, oh, they'll hire a celebrity to apologize for them? That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe they could get Bill Cosby to do it.